I got it. How about a little heel turn?
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Turning Heels, the season finale. I don't know. Did you get a contract extension from Davey and Brady yet, B? I didn't get my
I haven't received anything yet. No, not yet.
Yeah, I've been trying to reach out to Stephen Amell and just try to get a heads up to see if the show's getting a season 2, because that would mean Turning Heels gets season 2. But as of right now, this is the finale. But what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Coming off a great episode. Hopefully we're signing back for season 2, because you just can't leave us hanging like that. That season, this episode was just too good. You can't do me like that. Come on, Steve.
Yeah, they can't do that. I've been burned so many times with shows in the past where it's like they end off like that, like with a cliffhanger, and then they don't come back for season 2. So recently, like in the last couple of years, I don't start getting into a show until like I know for a fact there's a season 2. Mm-hmm. Then I go back and start watching it. Something like this is an exception, obviously, because it's wrestling related. But like I try not to get like committed to shows anymore, because I don't want to like, you know, find out the show's done, you know, while you're watching it. But yeah, Turning Heels, based on the show Heels. If this is your first time listening, I recommend you stop and go back to episode 1 and starting over. But it's been a good journey. I feel like we've had a lot of positive feedback about this. People are asking what's next, and I don't know. What do you guys want us to do? I asked for suggestions. I really don't know. Obviously, if there's any wrestling related movie or show in the horizon in the meantime before season 2, I'm sure we can cover it. I don't know. Do you have any ideas, any suggestions, B?
Not wrestling related, but I'm pretty sure we can find ourselves into something else, you know, maybe Marvel, who knows? Okay,
we can do that. There's definitely a lot on the table. So whatever you guys recommend. After this, we're going to go into some feedback. I left like a feedback thread, and I asked anybody if there's any suggestions, so we can probably get into that a little bit later. But for now, you know what? Before we go into heels, let's talk a little wrestling. I don't know if you know, but this coming Wednesday, there's 2 wrestling shows. And get this, in the year 2021, they're happening at the same time. So I don't know what we're going to do. Like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I have a phone and I have a computer and I have a TV, so I can watch both at the same time. But I feel like the whole world can't do that. You have to choose sides.
Yeah.
So the first shot was WWE having a supersized SmackDown where instead of 10 p.m., they're going to go to 10:30. So that, of course, goes into the start of Rampage. So Tony Khan put up this tweet saying, "Oh, you want war? We're going to go to war now. We're going to win." And right after he did this, like the ratings came out for Rampage, and it was like the lowest viewed Rampage of all time, which kind of sucks. Because I mean, like, it's weird because it's a bad time slot. Obviously, it's Friday night at 10 o'clock. People are outside again. Nobody wants to stay home. I rarely watch SmackDown live as it is. I don't watch Rampage live as it is. I watch it after the fact, but I doubt people are home. But SmackDown does still get good ratings because you have that time slot 8 to 10. It might be before people go out or just like families at home watching on Fox. But Rampage doesn't get those numbers, unfortunately, and they're loading up. They have CM Punk wrestling like every week on it. So after this, thing happened, Tony Khan just announced this morning that they're going to have a buy-in, a pre-show for Rampage. Which I don't think is necessary, but he's going to do it. And it's at 9 o'clock on YouTube. It has Bryan Danielson in action and Bobby Fish in action. And, the one thing I will say about AEW is, like, when they announced the card for Rampage, it wasn't that good of a card. It's kind of a weak card. You got CM Punk and Matt Sydal. You have, like, the Bunny versus Ruby Soho. And I think that six-man match with was Inner Circle and Junior Dos Santos against Jericho and the boys.
Yeah, which is odd, too.
So I like the fact that he didn't go and like change it, because he could have easily been like, "Oh, never mind, we're gonna have Kenny and Brian part 2 or something ridiculous just to like win it." So the fact that he's sticking by the card that says a lot about a guy like Tony Khan. So I do appreciate that, but I don't think you have to add an extra hour on YouTube just to.
Yeah, no, dude, you got enough dark elevation. Why do you keep making your job so hard? What is going on with Tony Khan? Does he hate you?
I'm probably not going to cover this show, to be honest with you.
Okay, just making sure,
Yeah, I mean, the fact it's technically like part of Rampage, so whoever talks about Rampage can talk about it, I'm guessing, but maybe I will. Who knows? We got to see what the matches are. I did see it's Bobby Fish versus Lee Moriarty, and that should be a good match.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, Moriarty is probably going to lose. But I don't know who Bryan Danielson's fighting, but yeah. But like I said,
I'm not a big live Rampage guy either. Like you said, I rarely watch SmackDown live anymore. I'm pretty much like SmackDown in highlight forms right now.
Right.
Rampage, I'm definitely just picking and choosing matches. I think I watched the first episode of Rampage with CM Punk. I think I watched that one live. Other than that, I'm never watching that live. And they kind of going into tough waters now because basketball starting again.
Baseball playoffs are going on. Yeah.
Baseball, hockey starting, football is in full swing.
You got big movies coming out every Friday.
Exactly. Friday night at 10 o'clock.
You know what side I'm choosing on Friday? I'm not choosing SmackDown or Rampage. I'm choosing Michael Myers. I'm gonna go watch Halloween Kills. That's what I'm doing on Friday night. So
yeah, I'll be right with you, brother.
So that's who's winning that war for me. But yeah, it's silly, but at the same time, like I said, like if you really care, if you want to watch both of it, just take your phone out, take your computer out, and just watch both. Or like it's not that serious. But
enjoy wrestling, people. Enjoy wrestling. Enjoy everything that has to do with wrestling. Watch MLW. Watch Impact. Watch ROH. Watch GCW. I tried to watch GCW over a couple of days. I'm not a deathmatch guy, so watch it all. Just shut up about it.
You know what's funny? Like you talk about that. I went to New York Comic Con last Friday. It was a Friday or Saturday? Yeah, Friday. And one of the panels that I sat into was actually like a Black Excellence panel. And you had like you had Faye Jackson there. You had a couple guys from GCW there. And a lot of the questions were asking about like how come, like the negatives and the positives about WWE and AEW and how they use Black talent. And I actually got up there to ask a question, and I told people, I was like, listen, I know AEW and WWE are the two top dogs here, but you guys, if you really want to watch Black wrestling, watch Ring of Honor, watch MLW, watch Impact, watch GCW, because they have like top guys, Jonathan Gresham, you got Willie Mack, you got Rich Swann. So like I tried to like make it known, and actually I threw in a cheap plug there because they were like, oh, I appreciate that, but we need more podcasts and websites to talk about this. And I was like, Post Wrestling, Nubian Wrestling Advocates. I was like, Nate Milton, Chris from LA, Andrew Thompson. Like I threw it out there, and they're like, "Oh, we appreciate the cheap plug." I was like, "Hey, they talk about it. They talk about it."
Did.
So it's like,
and shout out to NWA Podcast. They actually said something I definitely agree with. ROH has been holding that flag for a long time, dude. Look how long Cheeseburger's been over in ROH. I mean, I don't even have to keep naming all the names. I want to just stop at that.
You're right.
I can always turn on ROH and see some young brothers getting it on. So
for sure, and I agree with them. I think it's time for Gresham to hold that title. No offense to Bandito, but I think Gresham is the right guy.
I want Gresham to have a faction. I want Gresham to be leading a group, like a solid group. And I know he can do it.
Hey, you know what's funny? Like, talk about Ring of Honor. Like, recently, they've like kind of opened their forbidden door a little bit, and they let the Briscoes in GCW. And now there's rumors of maybe Dragon Lee showing up on Dynamite. So if that's the case, I want to see Gresham versus Daniel Bryan. That's what I want to see.
Oh, my God.
The octopus versus the dragon?
Ooh. Yeah.
I want to get a t-shirt made with
I'm
just
for
like,
it.
Oof. Oh, yeah. Ring of Honor is that's the one door that like, it kind of opens. They look out a little bit and they close it right back. So I think,
but I wouldn't want Gresham to go to AEW. I want Bryan to go to ROH and take on Gresham.
Yeah, and he has that history there. So I think that's definitely right.
Yeah.
But speaking of history, bad transition. Let's go to heels. Well, this is a historic event, I guess you can say. It's the finale. It's the State Fair show that we've all been looking forward to. So we're going to go right into it. Episode 8, Double Turn. And of course, we start with a flashback because we always have a little flashbacks. But this one is a little interesting. We see Jack and Ace. This time they're little kids and they're going around, kind of playing around in the back. And Ace is like, "Hey Jack, do you love me or something? Or do you?" And he's like, "Or do you like me?" And then Jack is like, "Well, I love you. You're my brother. I have to love you." And then I don't know. It was like a little like exchange they had. And then Ace is talking about like, "Hey, you want to go fishing? I got a new fishing rod." And Jack is like, "Well, I didn't get shit for my birthday." So we pretty much find out that like Ace was like the kid that was getting everything and Jack wasn't getting anything. Mm-hmm. And then something happens and like Jack tells him not to touch something. And then they start kind of play wrestling and their dad, Tom, comes out there and he's like, "Hey, you guys want to wrestle? Let's wrestle." And he starts wrestling Jack, but he gets like really rough and serious about it. And Jack is like kind of like trying to hold back whatever. And then he mentions to him, he's like, "You told Ace earlier, don't touch what's not yours. So don't touch Ace," like pretty much being really like defensive of his son. And then he like puts him in a chokehold. He makes him like quit and everything. And that was it. While Ace is kind of like going off on him saying, "No, don't touch him," whatever. But yeah, interesting little flashback we had here. What did you get out of this?
Just letting us know how big of a fucking asshole Papa Spade was. Just really nailing it home and just like, you know what? kind of glad the guy's not around right now. I hate to be like that, but it's like, yeah, I would hate for him to be like into these endeavors right now because he's just a world-class asshole.
Yeah, I think what they try to say was like the fact that Tom was very defensive, and then as soon as he passed away, Jack kind of took over that role. That took over that fathership role, being very defensive, and this cuts right back to how we ended off last week, where it was Jack invading Florida Wrestling Dystopia, and everybody's like going crazy, and Gully's like, go after him. So we see like Ace and Jack, and they're running out there. This one guy like spears them. It's like this little like chase scene where they're running out from the ring to the locker room to the outside, just dodging and ducking people, throwing them against garbages and all that. And they get into Jack's car and they just speed away. Ace is like, hey, what about Mom's car? And he's like, don't worry about it. We'll get it tomorrow or whatever. And they speed away. So, cool little, we were kind of wondering what was going to happen here. I expected a little bit more, sadly, but we didn't really get nothing that's kind of like, they jetted and got out of there. So they're in the car and Jack is questioning Ace. He's like, why did you even go there? And Ace is like, I had intentions of fucking Gully up, but he's so persuasive. And then Jack says a funny line. He's like, you would have been a real easy mark in the Garden of Eden. And Ace is like, why are you bringing the Bible up for? Like, hilarious. But the fact that he called him a mark in the Garden of Eden, that's hilarious.
Like what?
So, Ace goes on about how Gully actually listens to him, unlike Jack. And then Jack says, hey, listen, you're going to win the title back at the State Fair show, and you're going to turn back to being a babyface. And then he's like, I didn't drive all the way to Florida to get a stud horse. I came back to protect my brother, basically.
Right.
And this line, this is a little dated, this line already. But Jack tells Ace how he doesn't want to see Ace drink himself to death in 6 months. And Ace comes back with the line. He says, oh, come on. I watched Ric Flair's 30 for 30. I would have been fine. So my first question was, you must not have watched Dark Side of the Ring then. Because
he couldn't have watched Dark Side.
Yeah, that was just hilarious. The fact they threw in the whole Ric Flair being fine after 30 for 30. And I'm just like, oh my God. So that line alone is already outdated a month after.
Oh, it's tough. It's real tough already.
So we go to the Florida Wrestling Dystopia locker room, and Gully's like yelling at all the wrestlers there, saying, how come you guys didn't come in and help me out? And then one of them is like, oh, we didn't interfere because we thought it was a promo. We thought it was like part of the show. He's like, if you want, we can go over to Duffy and we can fuck them all up. And then Rooster kind of chimes in, and one of them is like, hey, maybe it's your idea, Rooster. Maybe you're the turncoat. And then Rooster says something about like, oh, I would have did something smarter than that. And they're talking about like what, the retaliation they're going to come back and the violence they're going to do. And Rooster's like, hey, listen, you can't take the Spades or Duffy down with violence. You got to get into their head. You got to, mess with the crowd a little bit. And then he tells them, you got to go to the biggest show. You got to go to the fair, and you got to basically mess with the roster there, or with the crowd there.
Yeah.
And that was it for Rooster. I was actually surprised that we didn't get any more from him. This is the only scene he was really in, where he kind of like planted the idea of what they had to do, but he never actually was there. He wasn't involved with the whole thing at the end. And we never really got like an update. I'm guessing that's going to be for season 2.
I'm pretty sure things aren't like all peachy keen, because he knows that Gully was going to take the belt off of him and give it to Ace.
Right. He did.
Mentioned that. And so I'm pretty sure he's not feeling Gully right now. So
yeah, he's already thinking of going somewhere else. He's like, right. I got the title here, but no, I'm not too happy. Let me go up north. So we go back to Jack and Ace, and Jack is dropping off Ace. He tells him, pick up your mom's car tomorrow in Jacksonville. And they kind of start laughing about like how he punched Gully straight in the face. And then he says a line. He's like, I really didn't hold the punch back when he punched Gully, which I think is foreshadowing for later on when somebody else doesn't hold the punch back either. So I found that interesting that they said that. So Jack drives back home, and his wife, Staci, and his son, Thomas, are not there. And Staci leaves a little note, and it says, I've gone to Courtney's, her friend Courtney. But the note is right on top of a couple of Kleenex, because last week she found the Kleenexes, and she found out from her store's, receipts that he was the one that purchased all those Kleenexes. So obviously she's not happy. So she took the kid and she left home. She finally got enough of his shit. We go to Crystal, who's walking outside, and a fan stops her, and she's like, hey, I can't wait to see you at the fair. You're going to do so good. And Crystal kind of reveals right then and there that she quit. She's like, I don't wrestle anymore. I'm done with that. And my fans a little upset, obviously. So we kind of get, confirmation that she's not part of the Duffy wrestling right now.
Yeah, she's not booked on the card as of yet.
We go to Apocalypse and Diego, who are recording some sort of promos or a podcast. I wasn't sure what they were doing. They were recording something, and then like I guess it's about the history of DWL. So I'm guessing it's probably one of those voiceovers that's going to air. They didn't say if the show's even going to be like on pay-per-view, but I guess it is because later on we see people watching it. But they never really made that like a part of the like presentation.
Yeah, they never mentioned any like streaming, but they did show people streaming in the show on like iPads and stuff. So, but I guess these guys are just doing like the drops for the intro or the middle of the show or something.
I'm guessing it's like on Fight TV for like $14.99 or something. It's not like actually on pay-per-view. I'm guessing
it's $4 a fight.
It's probably a free show. So they're in there. They're recording the promos, everything. And Debbie, who's like one of the assistants back there, she just walks in and interrupts them, say, "Hey, you know, you guys got to get ready or whatever." And they're like, "Hey, didn't you see like the sticky note on the door that says do not enter?" And she's like, "No, I didn't." And they're kind of going back and forth. And she gets mad and she calls them ingrates. And then Diego's like, ingrates is that racist? Like I don't even know. And Apocalypse like, no, it just means we're stupid. She's calling us what we are, basically. Like he's like, oh, okay. He was relieved to hear that. So Bobby Pin comes running in and he shows them a quick video of Jack Spade at the Florida Wrestling, what he did last night. They're all like impressed by it. Mm-hmm. We go back to Crystal and she's at her place, like working on her car or something. And Wild Bill shows up and he's like, "Hey, listen, I know you don't want to mess with me, whatever, but I have an idea here for you to get you on the card." He's like, "I'm going to make you Bunny Bombshell." And we find out Bunny Bombshell was the name of a series of valets that Wild Bill would have. And then after a while, I guess he would just change them up, basically. It was basically like strippers and, you know, girls like that he would just change up after a while. I guess as they get older, he had to move on to the next one. But Crystal knows about this and she wants nothing to do with it. She's like, "Hey, they're all strippers, whatever. I'm not going to do what you want me to do here." And then Bill's like, "You know, everybody will lose your shit about this and you'll be back climbing the ladder." Like another foreshadowing for later in the episode. But he's basically saying that like, this is what you need to succeed. If you don't do this, you're going to be living in your shithole apartment the rest of your life. Just think about it and give me a call. So this is our hint here of the Bunny Bombshell idea. Did you think it was a good idea?
Pretty good idea, but I'm trying to think, is it any other like gimmick in wrestling that has like a long stem of people who just keeps picking up the gimmick and going like a Bunny Bombshell? I think it's
Doink the Clown.
Like that.
that's the only thing I could think of that they would keep like recasting after a while. But I guess.
What if they would have kept recasting Doink through the years though?
Yeah. Who would be Doink the Clown right now? Ricochet?
Oh God. It'd probably be like Curtis Axel, somebody who's just a service guy or something.
That's true. But yeah, that'd be a pretty good idea to have like a gimmick. I'm trying to think of what gimmick right now. You know what? They do that like in Mexico for luchadors. They do that a lot. Like they pass down the mask. Sometimes they add like junior or whatever, but that is like a tradition in Mexico for sure. But yeah, you're
Tiger
right.
Mask.
Stateside, they haven't really done that. That'd be a pretty good idea to do that. Like maybe
Tiger Mask in Japan.
Right.
Same thing.
That's true. They do that in Japan as well. But I'm trying to think what would work like here. If they do like maybe like a like an Orange Cassidy just after
Orange Cassidy's.
Yeah, after he retires,
Orange Cassidy, please.
He passes it on to -1 and he becomes like the new Orange Cassidy.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
They just keep it going on years after year. That'd be awesome. But yeah, this is an idea that Bill put in Crystal's head. So we'll see if she accepts this later on. We go to Ace and Big Jim. Big Jim, remember, is the guy that retired that ended up having a kid, and Ace became the godfather. So they're meeting up a little right, on the road. It's funny because like they're talking on the phone, but they're both like driving cars, and like they get out of the cars and they're still having a conversation that was just on the phone. It was really like Ace, what are you doing? And and Ace is like describing the ending of the title match, and Big Jim is like, but why would the fans boo you if you won the title? And he's like, well, I'm turning babyface. And Jim is like, oh, I like that. You're better as a babyface. And then Ace starts going about how it's not Jack's fault that the fans are booing me. It's my fault. He's taking responsibility for the way he acted. And now he wants to go back and kind of fix the errors of his ways. And the first thing he does is go into the gas station or some supermarket or something. And the woman, Helen, if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, he said some really mean things about her weight, about how like she's so hungry she would eat a dead dog. Like he was going off on her to the point where like her dad called and yelled at him or whatever. So he goes in there to apologize. And she's like, no, I don't accept your apology. You're an asshole, basically. And he's like, trying to sweeten her up. He's like, do you want free tickets to the show? And she's like, do you have free tickets? And he's like, no, but I can try to get them, whatever. And you know, and then she's like, yeah, whatever. And then he's like, thank you for accepting my apology. And she's like, I didn't accept shit. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And the funnier part is like, when he leaves the place, he's like, woo, that went so good. And like, no, it didn't. It went terrible.
No, she just called you an asshole again, which you are an asshole, Ace.
He was like so proud of the fact that he did this, and like it was a total fail basically on him trying to apologize. And he kind of mentions to Jim, he's like, "Hey, listen, it's a big show. I know you're retired right now, but you might want to fight at the show." And Jim's like, "I don't know. You know, I've enjoyed retirement. I don't know if I should do this, whatever." We go to a quick little scene of Crystal. She's kind of going through old pictures of the bombshells, the Bunny Bombshell. So she's you know, I guess trying to make up her mind or not. I don't know if she should do this or not. And then while this is going on, we kind of get a quick little rehearsal back at the DWL Dome between Ace, Jack, and Bill, kind of going over their match. So basically is the ending is Ace getting the title and winning the title. Yeah. And we see a nice little kip up from Ace. Nice little, you know, some nice moves that this Ace can do. I noticed that. But the kip up is really hard to do. I probably could never do a kip up in my life.
Never in my life have I been able to do a kip up. I've been trying for years.
It's tough.
Two things I won't be able to do accomplish is dunk a basketball, do a kip up. One of these days. The Lord will bless me one of these days.
And I bet you like half these wrestlers can do a kip up into a dunk if they really wanted to.
If they really want. I know Ricochet can.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we go to Staci and she's at her friend's house, Courtney, and she's basically like just going off about how life sucks and she's sad and she's worried. She doesn't know how to be happy. She's basically just going through all this shit that she's going through with Jack. And at the same time, we see Jack is like leaving voicemails for her, leaving voicemails on her friend's voicemail, trying to get in touch with her, just, you know, constantly trying to get in touch with her. And I think the next day he finally gets a text message from Staci saying, you know what, we should meet in person. So that's the last that we hear from for this. For now, we go to Wild Bill, who's taking an ice bath, and Diego walks in. I guess Diego's like providing him with like drugs, not heavy drugs. That doesn't seem like, but just, you know, like painkillers.
Painkillers, yeah.
Yeah. And he says something to Diego about like the ice is going to like get his testicles sucked up his esophagus. And if you see me spitting out a grape, it's not a grape. And I'm like, what the fuck, Bill? We can't end it. We can't end this season without some weird thing.
Every fucking week.
Yeah. And don't worry, it gets a lot better for Wild Bill later on. So
it gets great.
That's the tip of the iceberg. No pun intended in the ice bath. But he tells Diego, he's like, "Hey Diego, you know, I like these drugs and everything, but I need something stronger. I need something harder." And Diego's like, "Listen, you know, I can get you that stuff, but this stuff's gonna fuck with your head. I don't really recommend it going into this show." And Bill's like, just give me the shit. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Get me those drugs.
He's Wild Bill.
It's Wild Bill. He wants those wild drugs. We go to Ace, and he's talking to his mom, and he's all excited. He's like, "Hey, listen, I'm going to win the title at the State Fair. I'm going to turn babyface. You know, I want you to come sit front row and watch it." And she's like, you know, she doesn't want to. She kind of brings up the whole thing with her dad, and she basically wants nothing to do with this wrestling shit. She's like, "Listen, you know, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to come see you guys," basically. Ace gets upset. He has a little boo-boo face. He goes outside. He goes right to the spot where his dad killed himself and just kind of stares at the ground. So obviously he knows what's going on, and he's not too happy about it. Jack and Staci, they finally have their meetup, and right away he just apologizes for the Kleenex stuff, and Staci starts yelling at him, says, "Why would you do that to your brother? That's like devious puppeteering. It's manipulating." And then Jack is like trying to defend it. He's like, "Hey, listen, you know, Ace isn't as good as he seems he is." He brings up the thing with the girl Helen about what he said to her and her eating. Then he brings up the fact that Ace told him that he should go kill himself like his dad or something like that. And, you know, and he's like, I need to be there for my brother. Basically. He has no one, you know, I have you, but he doesn't have anybody to tell him, you know, what to do and what not to do. And he's like, I can't tell him about the Kleenex stuff because he's going to end up hating me. And Stacy's like, you need to tell him this stuff. And you pretty much says like, I'm not going to come back home until you fix this shit. Yeah. And then Jack in his like best AJ Styles voice says, "I hear you, but can we go home?" And she's like, "No, we're not going home," basically. And then he's like, "Well, at least are you going to come see me at the fair?" And she's like, "Oh, no, they, for whatever reason, the rodeo decided to counter program." It's like Tony Khan. The rodeo decided to counter program the wrestling show and change the start of the anthem to the same time as the show. So I have to sing. I can't be there. So, yeah. So basically, Jack apologized for everything except being a shitty husband. If you notice, I'm like, this is the worst fucking apology ever. Like, she didn't leave you just because of the Kleenex shit. She left you because you didn't kill those squirrels. You didn't mow the lawn. You didn't clean up after yourself. You're a terrible husband. And all you had to apologize or say for yourself was, "I did this for my brother." There was not one time where he apologized to his wife for the shit that he did.
Not even the Thomas. Not even about not like being around Thomas a lot. Everything. It's just
nothing.
Yeah.
You didn't help him catch the fireflies. Like, you're a terrible dad. You're a terrible husband. You're pretty much a terrible brother too, because of what you did. Like, he's a fucked up person and
world class asshole. Just like his father.
Yeah. And then, like, he's like, oh, I'll try to, watch the singing on my phone later, or whatever. Come on, man. Like, you gotta do something. First of all, you're not wrestling to the main event. It's your show. You can book an angle or something and have the match come later. It's your fucking show. Go see your wife at the rodeo. It can't be too far away, and then go do your match. Simple as that.
Same state fair. There's no way.
Right?
You can't make a way around this to get to the rodeo.
Yeah, the worst excuses in the world. We see a quick little scene with Willie Day. She's like embracing her husband and her daughter. It's a quick little scene, but I guess they're trying to like say that everything is okay, because last time we saw she was getting all drunk and upset at her husband. So everything seems to be on the same page with the Willie Day family. We go to Ace. He actually does go back to the girl Helen, and he does give her tickets, and he says, hey, listen, I'm really sorry. So this time it felt a little bit more sincere. And it's weird because nothing really happened to change the fact. It was kind of like a weird little, I feel like something was missing maybe. Like he just went there and gave the tickets. Like, there was no real, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like it was kind of sudden.
Yeah, I don't think she believes him about getting those tickets anyway. And just see him walk through the door and hand her those tickets, it's kind of, he kind of babyfaced himself for me. I was like, all right, Ace, I'll give you for this episode. Yeah,
but like, it was just weird because nothing happened in between the two scenes that prompted him to kind of have that change. You know what I mean? So it was a little, I feel like something was definitely missing there, but he did give her the tickets. He did deliver on his promise, basically. We go to the DWL locker room. This is the day of the show, and Crystal walks in. She's in her new Bunny Bombshell gimmick. Wild Bill introduces her, and Jack is kind of looking at her like, I don't know if it's a good idea that you're here. I don't know if Ace is going to like you. But Ace comes in and he sees her and he loves it. He's like, this is great. You're going to get awesome heat and all that. He's like, me and Crystal are good. He wants her in DWL. And then Jack sees this, and Jack is like, okay, welcome back, Crystal, basically. Shakes her hand, and everybody's all happy about Crystal. And a couple times in the episode, you could tell Jack was trying to tell Ace about the whole Kleenex thing. And this is the first time I think he tried to. He comes to him. He's like, listen, I need to come clean about something. And right when he's like about to say something, Big Jim makes his return. They got to retire in the first episode. He's like, I'm back. I need some money. I need that stay fair money.
Just come to get booked one time. I understand, Big Jim. You can't turn that down. 20,000.
I need that Fight TV $4.99 money right now.
Exactly. Sell some Big Jim shirts. Come on.
some big Slim Jims. So Jack couldn't come clean about the Kleenex stuff just yet. We see like a montage of pretty much all of them driving to the state fair. It's like, and at the same time, Jack is giving like a big speech. It's kind of like we hear like the voiceover basically as they're all driving there. And he's talking about family, how they're fighting side by side, will never give up on each other. And then we see them entering the arena itself. By the way, Ricky Rabies is here, CM Punk. We see him there. We see the dad is there. We see a couple of the regulars here. And we see the arena, and this looks like an actual legit arena, like something you see like an AEW or a WWE. Like,
it looks really nice. Like the ring looks nice. And I don't even know where this is shot at. But
I was going to ask you. I'm guessing it's wherever is it in Georgia? I don't know where they shoot the show, but I'm guessing it's whatever arena that they use over there. The only arena that pops in my head when I think of Georgia is the James Brown arena where they had December to Dismember. So I don't know if it's the same arena, but
that arena.
That's the only one that pops in my head when I think of Georgia, like a small arena like that. So maybe it was that. Who knows? They need the audience after the ECW show. So as this is going on, Jack is continuing with his like rah-rah speech, and he's like thanking all of them. He's like, thank you for never giving up on me. Some of you are family by blood, and the rest of you are family by sweat. Nice little line there by Jack to get everybody on the same page. So we only see like 2 matches. We didn't see the whole card, unfortunately, but the one match that we saw highlights of was a tag team match. It was Ricky Rabies and Big Jim making his return against Diego Cottonmouth and Apocalypse. I feel like I'm going through Shot in the Dark right now, like going through like the actual matchups and everything. And as this tag team match is going on, we actually see Wild Bill taking those strong pills that Diego gave him, and he starts spinning. He starts seeing things, so he's fucked up. So these pills have fucked him up from a level.
Really quickly before we go too far, during that speech, did you see Steven Richards in the back?
No,
like, hugging the wall. Yeah, I think that was Steven Richards standing behind Ace in a couple shots.
Okay,
there's a couple guys sprinkled in and out here too.
Shout out Steven Richards. First Blue Meanie showed up on Dark, and now we got Steven Richards. The BWO is back. So these pills have obviously fucked up Wild Bill. He starts seeing things. He's all spinning and everything, and it's gonna get worse for a while. Poor Wild Bill.
Yeah, he gets real loopy in that hallway, and he gets real blurry. I thought he was gonna pass out.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was gonna be a lot worse for him. I thought he was gonna like have an overdose. Like I thought it was gonna be really bad.
Yeah.
Not yet. But we go to Crystal and Willie, and they finally have their little heart-to-heart moment. Willie apologizes for saying that she didn't belong there, and she's wrong, and she's part of the family. And Crystal's like happy about that. But Crystal kind of looks in the mirror and sees herself as the Bunny Bombshell, and she seems a little upset about it. Like this is not what obviously she wants to do, because her heart is to be a wrestler, but she's just doing it because she's trying to be a good sport about it and get on the card. We go back to the tag team match, and it looks like Big Jim and Ricky Rabies, they get the win. Big Jim pins Diego after a clothesline. It was like a double team clothesline. They got. We go to Willie, and she's trying to tell Jack, hey, listen, it's time for the main event. But Jack is like, give me a minute. I got to watch my wife sing. And Willie's like, too late for that shit, motherfucker. She already moved out. He's trying to watch the singing like as his freaking music is playing. Like, come on, man! Like it's too late right now. It's too late.
It's the national anthem. You know how the song goes.
Exactly. And at this, your wife already thinks you're a fuck up. Like, how's she gonna know that you watched it live? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
you blew it.
Yeah. Is it on Twitch? Can she see your name in the chat room? Like, I don't know how you're gonna. You can't make good for it.
Jack Spade is in the chat.
But Stacy does do the national anthem, and she's very good. She has a beautiful voice. Too bad her shitty husband can't hear it or see it. And Jack and Ace, they have a little backstage moment. The two brothers, they give each other a hug, a little pep talk. And Jack again is trying to tell him about this whole Kleenex thing. But Wild Bill interrupts here in his all drugged out phase. He's all like, "Hey, we gotta go out there and have this now, whatever." And so they go to the main event. Wild Bill comes out with his Bunny Bombshell Crystal. They make their entrance. They come out to a Creedence Clearwater Revival with the song "Run Through the Jungle." Nice little theme music for Wild Bill here. The crowd goes crazy. It's a big crowd. Pyro everywhere. So obviously they got the Titantron in the background. Like, this is a big show for them. This is like watching like an actual TV show.
It looks really legit. Like, I was surprised at how like real authentic it looks to an actual show.
Yeah, for sure.
The entrance and everything.
Yeah, I would love to be like an extra. Like, whenever they do things like this, I always want to be like in the crowd. Like when they film this, when they film like the fight scenes in the Rocky movies, I always want to be in the crowd to see like how they actually like stop and start something, like that. You know what I mean? Absolutely. The closest thing I did to that was it was some show I went to, and they were filming like one of those KFC commercials where they had like the Colonel. I think it was like Dolph Ziggler or something, and like I think Rusev came out as the Colonel. It was like some weird thing, but it was like the way they did it was really weird. And I think I had a friend who went to the show when they filmed the scene for Fighting for My Family.
Oh, really?
When they had like I think it was, who was it? Zelina Vega was playing AJ Lee. Yeah, and they had Paige and all that. They actually filmed that at an event, and The Rock came out and everything. So that was kind of cool to do that. So it's like you're watching a stage match for a stage show. It's kind of like ironic.
Crazy, yeah.
So Wild Bill, he cuts a promo. He's like, "I love to stay fair. I got your carnival rides, your cotton candy, the pie eating contest." And then he says something really inappropriate. He says, "I learned a lot on how to eat pie from the State Fair, and you could ask Bunny Bombshell about that." And everybody's like, "Oh," and she has this fucking pissed off face. She's like, "Yo, man, you did not say that shit." They go backstage and somebody's like, "Did Jack write that?" And Willie's like, "Yeah, but he didn't write the line about the pie." Like, that was totally Wild Bill right there. So Bill continues something about like America. Fuck yeah. Like, he's all about this whole, yeah, America. And then he's like, he turns that into like entitlement, and the Spade brothers have entitlement, and he's going to win the title from them, and he's going to feast on the title like a fresh baked Georgia peach pie. And then he breaks the mic, and Willie's like, "I don't care this time about the mic because the State Fair paid for it." So
what was his like his famous line that he did?
Oh, what did he say? Like let him roar or something?
Yeah, says, let the night roar.
Let the night roar. It's like his line that he says. But nice little
big impact for Wild Bill too.
Of course, he's the legend over here. He could have left out the pie line. Creepy old man. Don't need to be talking about no Bunny Bombshell pie. So as this is happening, we actually see Mama Spade over at the house. She pulled out a little iPad and she's actually watching the show. She's like, "You know what? I didn't show up at the show, but let me watch my son's fight here for the night."
A mark. Yeah, she's a big mark. She tries to hide it, but she's a big mark.
She's a big mark. She loves wrestling. So Jack Spade comes out, and is this a remix to his song? Did they add lyrics? They
put a little extra on it. Yeah.
Is that downstate? Every time I hear a song that adds lyrics, it always ends up being downstate, and that's my first thought.
I mean, he's a Cody guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cody Rhodes, like, it's not that hard to, but he has like his regular theme song, but they actually got lyrics to it. I'm like, Okay, it's pretty cool. After actually, I tried to look it up after. I couldn't find it, unfortunately. I was trying to see
fresh gear too. Yeah, he had brand new jacket, new tights, everything.
This is the WrestleMania. They didn't give a title to the actual like event. It just Duffy has to stay fair, I guess. Yeah. So stay fair or mania or something. I don't know. They could have called it something. But yeah, Jack comes out with his brand new theme song with the lyrics and everything. Ace comes out, same theme song, same everything, same pyro. He comes out and he's running to the ring. And the fans are booing him because he's still a heel in their eyes. Yep. And then for some reason, without any explanation, Bobby Pin is a referee. Like, I didn't get the memo. When did this happen? Like, why is he the referee?
Didn't the ref take a nasty bump a couple episodes back? But I don't remember them like rebooking a ref.
Okay, I got you. Maybe some storyline explanation that we weren't provided.
I'm surprised Bobby can walk.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He had a broken leg.
The bone came out of the leg.
I totally forgot about that. They didn't even explain that at all.
Nope.
What the fuck? They
How many weeks has this been behind? Like,
you know who they should have had be the referee? Mick Foley or whatever his Dickie Valentino, whatever his name was. That would have been a perfect referee instead of Bobby Pin over here. Mm-hmm. So then Bobby Pin is trying to go over the rules of the match. He's like, "All right, it's the rules. It's a ladder match. You get that belt, you're the champion." Like, thanks. Like, thank you.
He goes and stands outside the ring. Good job.
Thank you, Bobby Pin. So the match starts. Jack and Wild Bill, they start double teaming on Ace. They try to get the crowd behind them, and it works because they start chanting Ace, 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 Ace. And then Jack tells Bill, "Go get the ladder." And Bill's like, "You get it. I don't work for you." Like, just hilarious. We get like as the match is happening, we get like a montage with a song playing, and we see like the match happening as well as the rodeo happening because Stacy's at the rodeo watching the actual rodeo. Pretty cool. We see like like the bull fall at the same time as the wrestler. It's kind of like a nice little cut between both of them. And Stacy's over there with her friends watching it. The friend's like, "You're okay for being here and not to stay fair?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it." And then she's like, "About Jack nowadays, what's going on? Is he a face? Is he a heel?" And she's like, "I'm not even sure." So, oof. Her
friends need to get on a Duffy streaming site and watch the product.
Yeah, right.
You're so into it. Jeez.
Yeah, why the fuck you watching a rodeo for? I mean, I know you're supporting your friend, but like, stop asking her about the shit and go watch the show yourself. So this is the part. This is the highlight of the episode here. Wild Bill, he's trying to climb the ladder. He starts climbing it. He looks like he's having a little bit of issues. I don't know what's going on here. So Ace knocks him off. He takes a nasty spill, hitting the ropes and falling outside. And what do you know? We hear the little, the fart sounds, and Wild Bill shits in his pants. And he just lays on the apron, and Crystal's like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "I think I shit my pants a little bit." The ref goes by Bobby Pin, and he's like smelling it. And he's like, "Yep, I shit my pants a lot. It's a shame. I cannot bear. Yep. So I'm just going to lay here." And he closes his eyes. He's like, he's going to play dead for the rest of the match. I don't want anybody to know what just happened. So everybody's watching backstage, and CM Punk gave a look at it, which is pretty funny because the same thing happened to CM Punk against Dean Ambrose on SmackDown. So pretty funny.
I was just going to say, if you're not a wrestling fan and you're just listening to this podcast, it's a common occurrence. Wrestlers shit themselves a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it happens in a lot of sports, right? Sometimes you get hit a certain way that like it happens, right? I mean, I'm guessing the reason for this was because of the drugs that he took. It probably fucked up. Of
course,
his whole
pretty
body.
sure. Yeah, imagine taking a gut buster on a bad day.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. Like these wrestlers, they don't take time off. There's gonna be days where they have to wrestle when they're sick, and a lot of these women have to wrestle like when they're going through shit. I feel bad sometimes with a lot of the stuff that they have to do, but they do it to entertain us. So let's stop complaining on Twitter about half-hour wars. Let's just watch the show and appreciate it. So Jack is like, "What's going on here?" And they explain the whole thing to him. He's like, "All right, we're going to change the finish of the match. It's going to be the same thing, but instead of Wild Bill climbing the ladder with you, Ace, is going to be me. And we're going to do the same thing. I'll take Bill's spot." So as this is happening, we cut to the crowd and we see Charlie, Gully, and a couple of the FWD guys incognito with the hoodies on in the crowd. And we're like, "Uh-oh, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Are they going to jump in the ring? They're going to do something crazy?" No, they start chanting Jack's name to get the crowd behind it, which is exactly what Rooster told them to do. They want to fuck with.
They turned the crowd.
Exactly, which is smart. And everybody's like, "Why are they chanting for Jack? What's going on here?" They're going, Jack, Jack, Jack. The whole purpose of this match was to turn Ace back to a babyface, and they're just totally sabotaging it. And then they start throwing Kleenex into the ring, and they handed Kleenex to the entire crowd, and the whole crowd starts throwing Kleenex. At this point, Jack and Ace are on the top of the ladder, and all the Kleenex is hitting them. And Ace is like, "What's going on, Jack? Did you do this? Like, is this your idea?" And Jack is like, "Nope, it's not my idea. But it was my idea the first time."
Yep.
that this happened. And Ace doesn't hold back the punch, and he legit punches Ace right in the face, legit. I mean, in story sense of the show, legit.
Yeah.
And instead of, he has the title right in front of him, and he's like, nope, not gonna grab it. He goes back down, throws the ladder out of the ring, starts beating the shoot. It's a shoot, brother. He's beating him up,
brother.
He's kicking him. He's doing everything. He starts choking him at one point. The crowd starts booing. They know it's a disaster here. The whole ring is covered with Kleenex. The mom is at home. She's like, fuck this shit. She turned the iPad off. She went to sleep. Ace has his hands around Jack's throat. He's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. The whole shit is just exploding. Exactly what Gully was trying to do, was ruin the whole show.
Yeah.
And Crystal's like trying to tell Bill to do something. Bill's like, I ain't moving. I got shit all over the place. So Crystal's like, fuck it. I'm going to go in there. She goes in the ring. The crowd goes crazy. She takes out Ace with a Hurricane Rana. Jack is like, hey, what can you do to me? And she's like, I can suplex you. She suplexes Jack, takes him out of the ring. Bobby goes, grabs the ladder, puts it in the ring. As she's about to climb the ladder, Gully says, fuck this shit. I'm going to take the belt myself. So he's trying to run to the ring, and Wild Bill spots him. And Wild Bill, the hero who is like, you know what? I'm going to take all the shame. I don't care about all the gifts, all the Twitter, shit that I'm going to get about my shit. I'm just going to go and save the day. And he gets up, shitty pants and all, and he takes out Gully with a clothesline. And as he gets up, you see, as he gets up, you see like the little puddle of shit everywhere. It's disgusting. But he did the right thing. He took out Gully. So as is happening, Crystal climbs the ladder. She grabs the title. She is your new Duffy Wrestling League heavyweight champion. The crowd goes wild. I guess the rules here is whoever grabs the title could win. I mean, Gully could have grabbed it and won. Like,
yeah, I guess,
DWL has different rules. Anybody could have grabbed the belt and be champion. But it's Crystal. Crystal has her big moment, just like we expected. She won the title. She is your new DWL champion. The crowd goes crazy.
If you're a valet, you're in the match. I don't know if that's a DWL thing,
I mean, Gully was like, he was like insisting that he's going to go in there and win the title himself. He was like, I'm going to get this title.
Yeah, I would have blew up over the internet if Gully went up there and grabbed that belt while those two brothers are fighting for nothing.
Yeah, that would have been like the equivalent of like Vince McMahon running into WCW and becoming like heavyweight champion or something.
Yeah, come on.
So as this is happening, the crowd's going crazy. Everybody backstage is happy for her. We see Jack and Ace. They're both kind of like in the corners, separate corners, looking all beat up and whatever. And Jack gives Ace like a look, and Ace is like, nah, man, I'm not cool with you, and just gets up and just leaves the match. And that's it. That was the last scene that we saw was Ace walking to the back, and as Crystal's in the ring as your champion. And that is it for season 1 of Heels. That's how we ended it, with a brand new champion. The rightful person won. I think the only like legit good person on this show is probably Crystal. If you think about it, maybe Bobby Penn. Bobby Penn.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, Apocalypse is true. Yeah, Diego's all right. I mean, he sells drugs on the side, but he's all right. but Jack didn't win. Didn't keep his title. Ace didn't win the title. Bill didn't win the title. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, what a swerve, man! I didn't expect this at all. I thought Crystal was going to get involved, but I didn't think they're going to put the title on her.
I had no idea too. I'm like, oh, where are we going with this? I thought she was going to help Bill get the belt or something.
Right.
But I like it. I like her with the belt. Get more women in there. Let her beat up some of the guys. Season 2. I don't know. I'm rocking with it.
It's
She's
funny,
like Crystal LeRae.
Crystal LeRae. Yeah, I was expecting her to like do some crazy spot off the ladder.
Yeah, she would have hit a poison round. It'd have been definitely Crystal LeRae.
It's funny you said that she could have given the title to Bill, because that could be like an easy way to start the next season, where Wild Bill's like, hey, she got the title, but she represents me, so that title's mine.
Yep.
And then they could do the whole feud. They could do Wild Bill versus Crystal. That could be the next match.
That'll work. Yeah.
So, but it was a good show overall. I enjoyed
Great
it.
show, yeah.
You had your big surprise factor at the end. You had all the right players. The only thing I wish they would have talked a little bit more about Rooster. We just saw him in the beginning, and that was it. So hopefully that's going to be a big storyline in the next season. But that's like the only real like story that didn't get like tied up at the end. You know what I mean? Like he joined Florida Wrestling, but you can tell his heart isn't there. Yeah. So I can see him possibly coming back to Duffy in the next season.
Mm-hmm.
What overall the season? What's like your main things that stand out for you?
You know what? I really did enjoy this as a wrestling show, especially as a thing to help people who not that wrestling savvy learn wrestling. They actually did a lot of fan service and a lot of teaching at the same time. And a lot of wrestling shows can't do that. Like Glow tried to do it a little bit, but this really hit every corner that you needed to.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm definitely more invested now. than I was in the first 2 episodes or so. But I'm ready for season 2. If we go ahead, come on, Stars, go ahead and sign us. You know,
I think Stars is going to. Stars has a good history of like continuing their shows. They never really have like one season shows, so I think they'll be okay. The good thing I liked about the show was the fact that like Glow was good, but Glow did a lot of things outside of the ring that had zero to do with the wrestling. Absolutely. This show had things outside of the ring, but it all connected to the wrestling at the end of the day. Like, yeah, Jack and Stacy had their issues, but it was because the root cause was Jack being a booker for the company. You know, Ace had issues with Crystal. It's still connected to the wrestling. Rooster had his issues outside of the ring, still connected to wrestling. So everything's still, at the end of the day, connected to the actual premise of the show, which I appreciated. So it's like, they never had a reason to like, let's just say you watch it only because you're a wrestling fan. They never give you a reason to say, oh, I don't want to care about this shit. Like, I don't care. I just want to get to the wrestling. Like, no, everything did get to the wrestling at some point. The characters are great. I enjoyed everybody. I enjoyed Rooster. I enjoyed Wild Bill. Gully had his moments with the whole Florida wrestling thing. The whole hardcore thing was good. Jack is the worst husband in the world. Stacy's an angel. Ace is a fucking heel. Like, everybody was good. I'm hoping they introduce more characters in a second. I can see like Cody being like this real asshole heel in the second season. Like they're gonna have to have some faces from up north come down to try to fight Duffy, and I can definitely see Cody being one of those guys.
And they got a lot of people they can choose from. A lot of people from the actual up north. Just got released. He can go and just, hey, you guys want to come and do a couple spots or anything. But like you said, this show, everything pertained to actual wrestling and the actual inside the show. We had 2 black wrestlers on this show. And you've seen both sides of a black wrestler in one show. You've seen the black wrestler who wasn't happy with his position. You've seen a black wrestler who's actually happy with his position, is just happy to be here and knows that somebody gave him a spot and a chance. So that was enough for me. Once I seen that they had enough integrity to actually jump into those subjects, I was happy. Stephen Mill, Stars, you guys did your thing with the show.
No, you're right. They definitely hit all the points. You had, your female wrestler who figured that she's not getting enough time and she wants to be a star. And what happens? She does get it at the end.
They even questioned like, why don't we have female wrestlers? And that's a big question. We haven't. Crystal's the only female wrestler. Did Gully have any female wrestlers in?
She had like that ballet, I think, like that Asian girl that was like trying to mess around with Ace. She was kind of backstage with them, but I don't know if she was a wrestler or not. But that's another thing they can introduce in the next season. Have like who's a big female wrestler out there? I know she's retired now, but if you bring in Awesome Kong as her character from Glow, like do a little like multiverse, little Glow Heels multiverse, and have her show up there to take out Crystal, that'd be great.
Already established actor. She was great in Glow.
She's, oh my God, she had that one episode, was called like the Welfare Queen. Like she should have won a freaking Emmy on that one. That was a great episode.
Not even mean to get on that. That's the episode when she was like showing her pain. She was just like drinking. Right. Yep. Great episode. I would love to see her on the show. Yes.
Yeah, I'm surprised she hasn't gotten more work after that. Like she should definitely be used in something. But yeah, that's it for what we thought. We're gonna we go to some feedback I have up here. We got 3 pieces of comment here, so I'm gonna go through them. Some familiar names here you might recognize from the Up Next Post Wrestling community. But we start with Chris Elliott, who says, I really enjoyed the show as a whole. I think it did a great job of straddling the line between informing those who don't know about wrestling about some of their inner workings of the business and keeping the interest of those who do, just like you said. The finale was great, and the in-ring action was fun to watch. I did have a good laugh at Punk's reaction to Bill shitting his pants, though. Seemed like a possible Easter egg to those who know about Punk's similar situation. Anyway, thanks to John and B for this excellent series. Fantastic chemistry between you guys, and it's been great to listen to you as a companion to the show itself. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for all the kind words. Fire Frank Solo, the reigning Up Next champion. A lot of interesting character studies built around this wacky wrestling promotion. I found myself drawn into all of them, and even without a strong fandom of the sport, I feel I could have still connected with them, all based on their stories. Great season and great work, guys, on turning heels. Always entertaining and hitting on things you may have missed watching. Thank you, Frank. And finally, we go to Muggin, who says this finale brought everything to a head in slamming fashion. The Jack Ace rift took a complete role reversal from the pilot, and I was on the edge of my seat fearing for the worst. While Bill shitting himself mid-match brought to mind that Punk tweet from years back, but he redeemed himself by paving the way for the real hero of the story, who is Crystal. After being written off for being nothing more than a valet for most of the season, came through for DWL when they needed it the most. It was such a delightful ending to a great season of TV. Thank you for that. I agree. Yeah, I agree to all those points right there.
Actually, I remember a couple episodes back, we were like, everybody hates Crystal. Everybody, she's such a Dark horse.
Yep.
Now she's the champion. Look at
Now
that.
she's the champion. Now she can't say shit. I want to see her come back next season, like big. Was it in Big Time Becky Lynch coming with the fur coat, the glasses? Like, y'all can't tell me shit. I'm the champion. I'm
with
the
bunny
man.
ears still. Oh, she's still Bunny Bombshell, but she's kicking
with
ass.
the bunny ears. I mean, hey, maybe you can have the real bunny. You can have the bunny from what's it called? The Matt Hardy Family Office thing.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Bunny versus bunny. Dark bunny versus that'd be great. But that was great, and it was great chatting with you for these past 8 episodes. Don't worry, you'll hear more from us. I'm sure there'll be something that pops out. If there's anything that you guys are like, hey, you guys should talk about this, and nobody else wants to talk about it. Davey doesn't want to talk about it. Brady doesn't want to talk about it. We'll talk about it. Any wrestling thing, if there's a movie or a show with a wrestler or wrestling related, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Even outside of wrestling, doesn't matter if it's music related, sport related, whatever it is, man. We'll definitely find something. I think I agree with the comments. Our chemistry is good. We can talk for hours about whatever. So
for sure, I'm with it, man.
It was a pleasure to have this experience with you, and thank you so much for doing this with me.
Same here, brother. Thank you. I'm not sure who pitched it first, but I'm glad we did.
Yeah, just like one of those things that kind of popped up. Like, it was like, hey, it's a wrestling show. It's a wrestling podcast network. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
It was a great idea, and it was a great experience. And thank you for everybody for listening to us. You will hear more from us in the future, obviously. Here weekly with Shot in the Dark. Hear us pop up on the Up Next shows as well. And thank you again, guys. And we'll see you next season for Heel Season 2.
That's right. Stephen Amell, get at us.
Yes.
Tweet Stephen Amell, guys. Tweet him.
Tweet him. Tweet him and say, hey, listen, can you guys renew Heels for Season 2 just so we get Tourney Heels
and send
Season
us
2?
Merch.
And he'll be like, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll definitely rock the Duffy, the Duffy hats and all that. Send us whatever you can. Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.
Peace.